So I'm making progress on the Multiplex Cargo B17, and here you can see I've replaced this push rod. It was very thin before. This is probably overkill, but what was happening last time is, as it was pushing the rudder, the one that was in here, the push rod that was in here, was bending. It's okay pulling the rudder, but as it was pushing the rudder it would bend. So this one does not bend. It's solid. Now the other thing I've done, which you'll be able to see in the tail here, is I've attached some little brass tubes where I want the fake guns to go. And I've made a whole set of fake guns. So what happens is, if I can show you, I'll use the old ones I've got. I can now push sticks into the back. In fact, I can do it everywhere there should be a gun. And it gives the impression that it has some armaments. So here's the side gunner. I can push this dowel in there. Obviously it'll be painted grey or gunmetal. There's one at the top here. Push that in there. So on the nose here, I've got brass tubing fitted as well. There's a chin gun position. On this version of the B17, which was before the chin turrets, I believe they came in on the G model. It had a nose gun which came out of the centre there. These would of course be painted up. That's oversized, out of scale, but that means they stand out when you're flying the aircraft around. When it's just sitting on the ground, you can see these things poking out. And the reason I've done it this way is that when I've had a good day's flying, I want to call it quits. All I have to do is pull them out. They're friction held. Over time, the friction hold, because the stick might get worn, might become quite loose and they could drop out, but I have so many of these. They're just little barbecuing sticks, 2mm. I think you can get 25 for £2, and I can make 3 sets out of one stick. So if I do lose the odd one or two, it's no big deal. I'll just cut up a replacement. The other thing I've done is I bought some proper rubber bands, and it's now held on with rubber bands. So this is how it's supposed to operate. You turn it off, slide your battery in, connect everything up, and then just pop it in like that. So that won't come off. It'll just stay in place. Here's the guns. Finished flying. No more guns. Now the beauty on this was, in the older days when I had this, I glued all the guns in and they would hit things, you'd knock things, they'd rip the foam out, so I do have some foam repairs to do. But it works okay. I'm quite happy with the progress that's been made with this. So the tail guns, 1, 2. This one here just pulls out. Now what I've done on the aileron, it still has the crack running right the way down it. It's got packing tape over the aileron, goes into the gully, across the crack, up the other side, and attaches onto the wing. And that tape is run all along up to the horn. There's a little gap, and then I run it again all along up to the end of the aileron. Plus, of course, it's got the original tape on the other side. You can hear it. But I'm not restricted to movement. And I don't have to worry about any one single piece of tape failing. because there's enough there to keep it together. As you can see here, I have replaced the two bladed propellers that I had on this with three bladed propellers. Now I've no idea, I've really no idea if they're going to be any good for it. These are a 6x4.5. Now unfortunately the ones that I had on here, I believe, I'll have to check, were a 6x5. So the pitch has changed, it's got lower, the diameter has stayed the same. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad, but I'm going to put a watt meter on it and rig it all up, put a watt meter on it and see how it performs, what sort of current they draw. And then don't look perfect, but they look better than those Mickey Mouse props that it came with. When I fly the cargo for the first time, I'll put the original props back on, get it all trimmed out, get used to how she flies, get a feel for it. Then at some stage I'll swap these props in and see how she performs. Fingers crossed it'll be okay.